The previous video, I have discussed about different kinds of pages, the bus page and the bus fleet analysis page. And in every page, when we see a new kind of visual, I'm going to explain about that visual. In the previous page, I forgot to explain about this visual. This visual is called tree map visual. We can see here, and this is a stacked column chart, and this is a pie chart. This is similar to a donut chart, and this is a column chart and a vertical, limited vertical. There is no need to discuss deep about this. These similar and these are all the similar charting. I have discussed about the drilling down part in the previous video itself. Now, in the coming to the present video, I am going to discuss about the depot scorecard, which means like the total number of depots present in Visakhapatnam. There are around 7 depots, and you can see the total number of bus count 567. It matched with the previous one. So 567 is the total number of buses for the year, and also the total passenger count. So total passenger 2.5 lakh passengers. So here we have 243,661. The total routes 84, and the total revenue 976. So the total revenue 98 lakhs, nearly to 976. So this is how the card is developed. Here the one of the important parameter which we need to understand is revenue growth year over year, which means like the revenue, how the revenue has grown from 2018 to 2024. So during 2018 there is no previous year data, but during this year the revenue has increased from 2018 to 2019. So and again 21 revenue has increased, and 21 22 the cost per kilometer is increased, but the revenue is minus. The reason is COVID-19. And again, the revenue growth has increased 13%, 9%, and again it has leveled down to 16.727%. So the revenue growth year over year is one of the important KPI, how it is growing or not. And also we can see the depots versus buses, like owned buses versus hired bus. So in the previous video too, we have observed the active as well as spare, but not owned versus hired bus. So the Gajwaka depot has got the maximum number of owned buses. We can see in the legend. So when we select it, the maximum revenue from this Gajwaka depot is 1516K, and the revenue with owned as well as hired. And even the Anakapalli too, we can see that the maximum number of owned buses is when Gajwaka depot compares the Gajwaka and Anakapalli. Similarly, the Madilpalam depot. So when we check this, all the values get Madilpalam, Madurod, all the values in changed. Similarly, Simachalam. So what are the total number of buses and the total revenue in the from the depot, and also the few of the most important thing is like EPKM growth, like earning per kilometer growth percentage. So for in order to discuss this, we go into it the formula. What is earning per kilometer growth percentage? So I have checked this, and immediately it went to the table it belongs to. So when I click this, it's you can see clearly that earning per kilometer growth percentage. So we have earning per kilometer for every year. So from 2023 to 2019. So we are minusing from the last year to previous year by the first year in order to know the growth percentage from 2018 to 2024. We can observe the earning per kilometer growth is around 15.34%. It's a very good sign. And also the PAX recovery, which means that post-COVID, the total passenger recovery is 122%, which means that when I select this again, I have selected from 23 to 21 only, which means that maximum number of passengers has again gained the trust of the RTC, and they have started, the number of footfall has been increased. So there is a very good increase in passenger count too. And also fleet CAGR. Fleet CAGR means the bus numbers increase. The fleet compounded annual growth rate, the total number of bus numbers increase. So it's also has been increased steadily to 1.07%. So but the most important thing which we should keep in mind is the total number of buses in diesel and CNG, they will be replaced very soon with the electric bus fleet. So we in this video we can see the total depots and the revenue from each depot, the owned buses and hired buses. The inference from this sheet is like the performance of APSRTC is steadily increasing in the growth. The growth margin is good, but the on-time performance has to be improved for some. Here you can see the on-time performance is very good for Steel City and Kapalli and very less for Valte. So which means that the on-time performance of Valte depot has been improved, has to be improved. So although the number of bus counts is less and the passenger count But the passenger count, we can see that when we compare with the passenger count, the passenger count of Voltaire is minimal, not maximum, not least. So the bus count is also very less. So, but despite of bus count, all the things, bus count, passenger count, everything are minimal, but the on-time performance is low. There are number of reasons for this because we can't completely complain on driver. There are number of chances like maybe more number of bus stops in between the depots and from and to destination. So optimum utilization of this bus has to be and drivers has to be done. And coming to the next slide, the routes revenue and operation. So this slide gives us some insight. So here some of the standard parameters like the total GPS, how they have been installed and how the number of GPS installation the buses increased, the carbon emissions has been decreased, the digital ticketing it has stood to 91%, it may reach 98% by right now in 2026. The average trip delay. This is one thing which you need to discuss, the average trip delay. So average of the trip delay of all these comes from the A-late and RTA, and also it's around 4.8 minutes, which means like it's very good. It's very good, which is not greater than 8 or 10 minutes, which means that most of the time all the buses are within on-time performance. That's why the reason the on-time performance is around 90%. Also, bus breakdown incidents per day, there are around only out of 567 buses, only 15 breakdowns, which contributes to less than 1 or 2%. The breakdown rate is also less. On annual rate, it should be around 2 to 3%. It has maintained breakdown rate. Out of total number of the trips on time. So trips on time is one important. How could we decide whether the trip is on time or off time? So this is calculated by trips on time. Whenever the delay less than 5 minutes, we could say that the trip is on time. Greater than 5 minutes, whenever the bus has to reach by 5:05. When it has reached within 5:10, it means the trips are on time. When it has taken more than 5 to 10 minutes, the trips is not on time, it's off time. So it defines the punctuality. Average route length. For this, we go for route master table. So here we see the total route, the length of the route. So average route length. So we calculate the average of the total distance. We go for route master table. So, so here we can see the distance in kilometer. We calculate the average of it. We get the average route length. And now also the on-time performance. As I said, the on-time performance is one parameter in order to understand better visualization. So you can see that most of the trips are online. This is the trips on time. As a result, 86% of trips are on time. So these are the parameters. Now let's do a quick recap. So you can see that most of the time the trip delay. So if you check that total number of trips, 13,110 trips out of total trips less than 5 minutes. Like all these are within time. If I select this, it gives the total routes in the strip. So also the total routes in the strip. If I further select it, it gives the route stop, Gajwaka, NAD, and the total destinations. Similarly, if I select this top 10 passengers by bus count, so if I select 1T, it gives. So I have to drill down. I select this. I have to drill down. If I select 1T, it will give the total route distance, which between in this route the total number of passengers, and also in a similar way the total top 10 rupee revenue generation, the city ordinary, I drill down. So if I select this again, I get the amount in city ordinary is high and the metro express is minimal and metro luxury, and also route distance which are the key stops, which means like the between which route the maximum amount we can obtain. So you can see that 1T bus which has maximum revenue. It the stops coverage is from RK Beach to Jagadamba Town Kothur India, which has covered the maximum distance. So and also we can see the routes coverage distance. Here also the 25 to 30 kilometer. What are the routes present in it? Similarly, the routes by time. When we drill down, we can understand which routes has coverage and maximum. So everything when we drill down, we get the correct value of which route has got the maximum revenue, which has got the maximum passenger count. If we drill down, we can get the further analysis of each route and revenue of the each route. Thank you.